Us is Nick Hoffman. In addition, Nick, to racing modifieds, you've been running super late models. Are we going to see a trend of you stepping out of the open wheel car and moving into a super late model very soon?
I do a part-time schedule with both, which ends up being a full-time schedule overall. But
right.
I'm going to run the modified for the next 2 weeks here. Then we got a Mars race at Brownstown, Indiana in 3 weeks. So it'll be the next go around with the late model. I think we're going to run Ponderosa that weekend too. Then obviously I'll be at the World 100. I'll be at the Dirt Million. I'll be at the World Finals, the Dirt Track World Championship, all out with the late model. So I enjoy the late models. I really enjoy my modified too. So I don't have a problem with what I'm doing now, with racing select shows with both cars and doing it that way. It's really the late, like I told a bunch of people, the late model deal is way tougher to get in and obviously run really well, especially the races we're running. But the modified is really laid back, doesn't take near as much crew help. Obviously, the Hell Tour, I was on the road most of the time by myself and my wife and my newborn. So it's a lot more laid back type of schedule. It doesn't take near as much help, so I kind of enjoy it doing that every once in a while, So, but I'm excited to get back in the late model and do some racing with it.
We're chatting it up with Nick Hoffman. Now, Nick, did you officially lock up the modified championship at Oakshade? Or is there is it because it's looking like some of the things I was reading on the Dirt Car social media, it was looking like I guess you got to go to Kentucky or somewhere to lock up the championship.
Right.
I know Brian Shirley's won. Go ahead.
Yeah, so obviously the late model deal ends at Oakshade. The modified deal is kind of a little different. This year we go to Cedar Ridge this week for 2 shows. We got a 1,500 and a 6,000, and then next week we have a makeup at Lincoln, which is a makeup for late models too, but it's not points for the late models, but it's points for us. And then we go to Prater Classic at Fairbury. So those are all points nights. I believe after I won Saturday that there was no way nobody could catch me.
Awesome.
So basically a lot of it depends on how many cars are at the race, and you need max point wins and everything. And there was enough cars to get a max points night on Saturday. So I'm pretty sure that mathematically there was no way that anybody would catch me now.
Well, that's not fair, though, because you got to race another couple of weeks to officially lock up the modified Hell Tour Championship, and Brian Shirley won last Saturday at Oakshade.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, that they drag it on. But especially to have, normally we would have 2 weeks in between the last race and Fairbury.
Right.
Now we got 4 races total that still got to get counted toward it. So it kind of sucks, but that's just the way it's been the last couple of years.
Nick Hoffman again joining us. Coming up here in a moment, we're going to talk to Squirrel Brian Shirley to talk about his big win champion. And again, great story about Brian Shirley. He wasn't even going to compete full-time for the Hell Tour Championship unless he was just playing mind games with everybody, and he turns around and wins his 3rd Hell Tour Championship. The driver of the 3S Century Rocket. We'll chat with him here in a moment. We're chatting again with the driver of the Elite Chassis of Nick Hoffman. Nick, what's your thoughts of racing today? Me and you've known each other since the early 2000s. You now travel all over the country like I do. Some highs, some lows, positive, negatives. What's your thoughts of dirt racing in this generation?
Well, that's what I forgot where we were at during Summer Nationals, and Spoon River. It was like a Thursday night race or whatever day Spoon River is, and there's 52 cars that show up for a Thursday night race. You know what I mean? And every single racetrack we went to was, standing room only in the grandstand. So as far as dirt track racing, it's thriving. It's getting a lot of publicity right now. Everything's going really well, I feel like. They're getting a lot of cars. They're getting a lot of fans.
Right.
At most of these deals. So anybody that, says that that's racing's dying out as a general, in general is, they lost their mind. So, it's pretty cool to see a lot of these places like Oakshade. last week. I don't know how many people that place sits, but there wasn't a place to sit in the grandstands, and then everybody camps out overnight because it's a 2-day show. It's pretty wild, that place is in the middle of nowhere in Ohio, and that many people show up to watch the finale for the Summer Nationals. So I see all that stuff on my Facebook and social media that people complaining or whatever about any type of form of motorsports, and I think right now it's really strong with what everything's going on and what we got going on.
Nick, I think a lot of it has to do about promotion and time management. There are so many racetracks that you see across the country that they get it. They promote well. They do social media. They do marketing. They do radio, TV ads, newspaper ads, all the things that go into promotional. Time management. You got to run a quickly successful show. I got to give props to Tyler County Speedway and I-77 Speedway. Some tracks that I've known in the past that can dilly-dally and race all night long. That's not the case there. They started around 8:30 on a Friday because it's a Friday night. They were done by 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning at I-77 Speedway. 4-hour show, done. Same thing at Tyler County Speedway. They started at 7 o'clock. By 10:30, 11 o'clock, the show was done. Promotion and time management is something that anybody that runs a racetrack, dirt, asphalt, drag, karting, whatever, they need to look into doing. Would you agree with that? Because we're already there for the most part of the day in the afternoon, prepping and preparing. We don't want to be there till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then know when we got to go to the next one.
Yeah, so basically the way I look at it is, as a fan, you're looking at your entertainment dollar, so you go to, let's say, Monster Jam or Supercross or something like that.
Right.
You only want to be there for 3 hours, 4 hours. You go to an NHL hockey game, you go to a baseball game, whatever. It doesn't get drug on. So, no matter if it's dirt racing, asphalt racing, whatever, that fan doesn't want to sit in them stands for 5-6 hours,
Right.
So you got to get in and get out. And a lot of times as a driver, it's tough because it makes you thrash. You got to get done and get in staging, so on and so forth. But, that's the way it needs to be done, especially when most of these places we're going will have, at least an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour drive after the races are over, So for us, it's better to get out of there as quick as possible, too. So, yeah, that's a big part of it. We've been to some places that are a little slow, that drag some stuff out, but there's always ways to do it better, I guess.
Got a question coming in via social media, and I think you've already answered it earlier. I'm just going to ask it again. What are your plans for this weekend?
This weekend we go to Cedar Ridge for that Hope for Harley race. It's a pretty neat deal that they're doing for her family and for her, raising money. And then it's probably one of the bigger races of the year for the modifieds.
Right.
1,500 to win on Friday, and then 6,000 on Saturday with it. It's 1,000 to start the feature Saturday. That's a pretty big feat and pretty big purse for us, So I'm pretty pumped up about that. It's a place I've never been before. So we go there, and then got a bunch of big races lined out here for the next month or so.
Yeah, I was actually watching, I think it was Lucas Oil Racing TV the other night, and they were promoting that race. They were promoting that big modified show. So big props to them doing that and getting the word out about the race. I think it was also on social media. The young lady's name, I'm trying to think of her name. She's with the race car driver promoter. The promoters there behind that racetrack at Cedar Ridge. I think they've done a really, really phenomenal job. And like I said, again, phenomenal work goes in promotion and time management. So definitely. A couple more questions with Nick Hoffman. Squirrel Brian Shirley has just texted me. We'll let our producers know. We'll get his number lined into the board here in a moment and call him up. Again, Nick, final question for you from me. Elite Chassis, it's done so great in the modified world. Are you looking to possibly build elite chassis for super late models, crate late models, pro late models?
No, I get that question a lot, and the late model deal is tough. The modified deal is tough enough for me for what I'm doing, trying to race and build cars and everything. And the late model deal, really, you look at the late model deal. There's basically 5 chassis companies. You want to say across the board. You got obviously Rocket, Longhorn, Capital, them type of guys. And then you got some regional guys like Kryptonite and guys like that are building some cars and doing really well. But so let's say you only got 5 chassis companies. The modified deal, I mean, there's probably 300, you know,
Right.
Everybody's got a different car. So it's a little bit easier for me with the modified deal. The late model, I need to be able to call Mark Richards and be like, hey, what right front spring do I need to run? You know, my modified, I pretty much got a pretty good handle on, obviously. So it's just a lot tougher deal, especially with them guys are, you know, out on the tour all the time racing, and the competition level is so tough. So a lot of them guys have engineers and everything else. So I don't want to, you know, have no intentions to do any of that. My modified chassis company is booming. We're going to kind of step back a little bit and build a few less cars this year, just because I'm so busy with racing and I feel like, you know, I'm young enough right now. I need to be on the road racing and everything. So, we're still going to be building probably 15 cars this year, but last year I did closer to 20 and just it'll run you thin sometimes, but it's going really well. Tyler Nicely leading national points, Will Krupp's second in national points. Tyler won a Hell Tour race. He ran second to me 6 times. And then that Hunt Gosson kid, 14 years old, goes to Oakshade. There's 40 cars there, and, you know, he won Friday night's portion of Oakshade. So that was pretty wild, and that was a good deal for him. So our cars are running really well all over the country, really. So just got to keep pushing and try and stay on top of it.
Yeah, Hunter Gosson, what a great story. I was reading that with Ruben Morellis last week, catching up on that story. And, of course, the native out of Owensboro, Kentucky in the 25, Tyler Nicely. I mean, I've known that cat back in the first run of the Renegades of Dirt days, and truly a good guy representing Elite Chassis as well. Hey, final question for you. You know that Short Track America, MAV TV, airs tonight's Speed 51 Open. You were a part of Speed 51 Open. I was on pit road as a pit reporter. You can join Bob Dillner, Casey LaJoy, and, of course, also Jacob Silman in the booth tonight for that event on MAV TV, Short Track America. How cool is it what your sister, Ashley Burnett, and Jeremy Burnett, her husband, your brother-in-law, have done with Millbridge Speedway for not just outlaw karts, but go-karts, and now getting on national TV, too, for the last couple of years?
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy the places that we go and people talk about it. You know, it's became the premier go-kart track in the country. Pretty much if anybody knows go-kart racing or outlaw kart racing or any of that type of stuff, they're going to know of Millbridge or watched a race there or whatever. It became the premier place for go-kart racing. So just to be a small part of it, what they do and everything, and then obviously I race over there a lot. It's pretty neat. It's been a lot of work for them, I know, throughout the years, and, you know, it's I try and help out at least on the big races and stuff, but it's pretty crazy. You even look back at the pictures of when we took that place over, what kind of dump it kind of was, you know, and what it looks like now, all the different renovations and things that they've done. So pretty neat to be on national TV again with that deal, and I think it's just there's a lot more to come out of that. They got a lot of really good partnerships on some stuff and sponsorship deals that could push that racetrack even further. It's only the beginning, I feel like.
Absolutely, definitely. And by the way, MAV TV Short Track America tonight at 7, 6 Central, replays at 10, 9 Central on the MAV TV Motorsports Network. Call your local cable satellite provider, ask them for MAV TV or how they can get it in your area. Nick, so much things to go over, my friend. Appreciate you being on Finish Line. Go get that championship for the Hell Tour, but I think you've already officially locked it up. They just haven't made it official. And appreciate you being on the program, buddy. Good knowing you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me again.
Thank your sponsors on the Elite Chassis number 2.
Yeah, I got a lot of product sponsors, all them guys that help me out with products and keeping that thing without any kind of mechanical failures. Run basically 19 nights the Hell Tour and did not have a single mechanical failure, so that says a lot. Weir's Machine, KBC Graphics, Fox Shocks, Jervitz Shock Services, Bassett Wheel.